Hi, I'm Paul from pdhsports.com, leading online racket specialist, and I'm very lucky to be joined today by the legend Nick Matthew. Nick arranged for us to be able to do this playtest today for the new Sonic Core. We're here at Hallamshire Squash Club. First of all, thank you, Nick, for giving us your time. What's been happening during this lockdown?
Yeah, well, first thing is we've not been able to get on court too much to get the new rackets in hand, so I've been doing anything to do just that, getting some of the pros I worked with during lockdown out on the field next to my house doing ghosting, even making them do circuits with the racket in the hand, anything to stay familiar with this piece of genius next to me. And yeah, we've had to all probably in every line of work think outside the box a little bit in lockdown. Lots of stuff online, a lot of the players that I work with through my academy, relationships with likes of Dunlop, everything's gone online, so it's great to finally be back in a squash club. Things aren't up and running as we know them just yet, but I think we're getting closer and closer.
Obviously today we are here to talk about the new Sonic Core rackets. My first impressions were it's something very special. It's like a new technology into the game of squash. What are your thoughts on the new rackets?
Yeah, I think the first thing anyone looks at is the visuals. Before you even find out about the technology involved, people look at the racket and they go, oh wow, that interests them. And that was the first thing for me. Even though I've been with Dunlop for 20 years, this range has kind of excited me, and more so because we've not been able to get on with them. But the best part for me, now that I'm kind of in more of an advisory role, consultancy role kind of with the company, is I'm able to play a big role in the development of that as well. Yeah. Harder to do that when you're playing and you're too busy kind of with your own career, but been really excited to play a role in that, and now see the end result is exciting.
I know Nick Taylor out in America, he's using your racket, and he's been posting quite a lot of stuff recently about how great it is. And I mean, can you just sort of give our viewers and people that might be buying this a little bit of insight into like the differences that they're now feeling? I mean, I've just reviewed them and I've tried to put that across, but what are your thoughts?
The 120, which is mine, has a little bit more lightness in the head. It's head light, and that's something that I've developed ever since I moved onto this shape racket, which I think was probably 2005 with the initial Slazenger model. Obviously Slazenger being a sister company of Dunlop. I've been with Dunlop since 98 and been with this frame since about 2005 in terms of the shape, but the technology this time is, I've always liked the headlight. The danger with that is sometimes you can then sacrifice that little bit of control in the head, because I like to volley, take the ball early. I always want that speed through the air with the lightness of the head. They've now taken away the kind of potential vibration with the 2 power points there for me. That where at 10 and 2, that was one of the big things when we play tested it, was trying it around trying it at the top, trying it on the sides, but the sweet spot was at 10 and 2, and that just combines that racket head speed through the air, but also that feeling of stability, and when you hit that spot, it doesn't deviate. That really kind of, I'm not moving too well these days, but kind of it helps me hit some good lines still. This
Sonic Core really is something that we can shout about, and the club players are going to benefit massively. So
100%. I think Dunlop, it's the whole package now. You've got every type of racket to suit every player as well. So you've got the different options with the longer throw, obviously Deck's racket, my racket, and then you've got the more traditional shape as well with the different balances. So something for everyone really in the range.
So obviously, like we just touched on there, so you've got like Greg Gaultier, yeah, who's using the Elite, who's always used the Elite. What would you, a rival of yours back in the day, what would you say, why do you think he would use the Elite over, say, your racket? What are the differences?
I think with Greg, he was funny. He always wanted. Greg, I can imagine for Dunlop, was probably one of the hardest players to please, because he always wanted it to the nth degree. He wanted it to be a little bit ridiculously light in the head, to the point where back in the day he used to shave off his grommet strip. I literally saw him with sandpaper, because he wanted to get lighter and lighter and lighter. With the new technology, you won't have to do that, because they've already kind of developed that without taking away. As I said, the challenge is when you go light, you can take away that control and that playability. The balance on this is perfect. So Greg should be amongst us happy campers.
Well, he is using the new Sonic Core, that's been confirmed. So tension on the strings, could you just tell us a little bit about what tension you're using in your racket?
Yeah, I used a silk string, Dunlop Silk, and I string mine at 27. So they've got a full package, so the grips are good now, the string is excellent. I know you spoke to Declan as well before, and I was always someone who used, before Dunlop Mainstring, I was an Ashaway fan. Technifibre have also, they've been possibly the two biggest string companies over the years, and for me now Dunlop have got an option to compete at the very, very top end. The transfer to me with the silk was just seamless and wouldn't change to use anything else now, so love that. I think it looks good.
Of course, you can get Nick's racket. It's now available at pdhsports.com.